If you've been feeling like the beauty industry is absolutely overflowing with talented hairstylists looking for the same dream client as you, doing the same services, and kind of sounding the same as you, you're not alone. But today I am going to show you how to stand out in a crowded, super competitive marketplace so that your dream client will see you and know immediately it's a match made in heaven. I worked behind the chair for years, built a solid book, and now teach hairstylists how to do the same thing without hustle culture and bro marketing. So let's jump in. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Ren Lopa, the creator and founder of the Successful Hairstylist podcast, community, and book. And look at these sweet little wildflowers. Spring is alive, and my husband is so cute. He always picks me little flowers to bring home and put in these tiny vases just so that I can remember, stop and smell the flowers. So cheesy. So, the best place to start as we're looking at standing out from all the competition in our area is you really need clarity around what makes you different. So, a timeless marketing principle is that if you can't articulate what makes you different, unique, or why someone should choose you, then your audience definitely 100% has no idea, right? Like it starts with us. We need the clarity in order to articulate it. Now, this isn't just about skills, although that can be a part of it. It's also about your energy, experience, approach, and how you make your clients feel. A great place to start in figuring this out is going through your reviews, testimonials, thinking back to your conversations with clients, and really pinpointing what are the things my clients always compliment me on. If you're really stuck, you could even text maybe your top 5 clients and ask them why they choose to come to you or what they think is different about you over other hairstylists. When I was behind the chair, one of my unique selling points or the thing that I felt like really made me different is that I truly am just a sweetheart. I focus on custom looks, and I really, really loved and was most passionate about creating those custom natural looks. So it was like your hair, but better. Found all of this out exactly how I'm telling you to do it by going through my reviews. What would people say over and over again? Even when people would call to make an appointment at the salon that I worked at, they would say, I want the sweetheart with the Disney princess voice. That was me. So understand what makes you unique and then start communicating that on a regular basis. Remember, clarity creates confidence, and confidence creates clients. Once you figure out exactly what actually makes you different, now you need to focus on how you can actually look different online. For example, go over to your Instagram and scroll your own feed. Are you posting like the same exact types of photos over and over again? Are you showing the same angle, same lighting, and same vibe in almost every post? It's so important to understand how to create visual interest in your feed and have a variety here. If you're a balayage specialist, I want you to showcase all the varieties of balayage from high contrast, low contrast, on bobs, on pixies, on longer hair. Show that variety on brunettes, on blondes, etc. There are so many ways that we can mix it up without actually changing or editing our specialty in order to do that. Another way to look different is to really think about what does your dream client want to see? If they just wanted to see pretty pictures, I guarantee you they would go somewhere like Pinterest instead of Instagram looking for a hairstylist. They are looking for something deeper. So I want you to think more about those transformation shots of before and after, showing big transformations, but also the subtle ones. A lot of women don't want a complete overhaul, and in fact, that really scares them and makes them nervous. They want a subtle change that's going to make a big difference. A couple of examples here could be a before and after transformation on a brunette, so not just on a blonde and not just like a high contrast, huge transformation. You could also showcase a client's reaction, not just their final hair. And a great way to do this, if you're not video recording your clients, which is totally fine, is you can talk about it in the caption. So, at the end of our visit, when Cindy saw her final look, here's what she said, or here's what her face looked like. Like I could see the sparkle in her eye, and I could tell that it was like she was seeing herself again in a way that she hadn't seen herself for a really long time. This is still really powerful and helps women understand the inner transformation that can also come from working with you. It's also showing a side of you that cares about how your clients feel, which we can often leave out of our content, right? It's like, I can execute the look that you want is a totally different conversation and skill than like, I care about how you're going to feel at the end of this. People are looking for both. I want you to remember that pretty pictures are nice, but purposeful content is what builds connection. Now you know what makes you different. You know how to look different visually. So now we're going to talk about how to sound different from everyone else out there. Biggest key in this is showing your personality, not just your customer service voice, okay? I want you to speak like a human being, like a best friend, like you're talking to people you care about rather than trying to be all professional, which ends up coming off really uptight and cold. It's also important to remember that your dream client doesn't care or understand technical terms. The smartest person in the room isn't the person who can explain things in a technical way. It's the person who can take technical concepts and simplify them so that everyone in the conversation can understand. That is your mission here. I also want you to really consider ditching the captions that are like ice ice baby or caramel macchiato, mostly because this is what is going to directly make you sound like everybody else. And now that we've talked more about like looking different and what sets you apart, I hope that you're also seeing that captions like that aren't communicating anything. A great place to start with this is to think back. I like to visually pull out my calendar, okay? And think back to the clients that you had last week or the week before. Really picture what those conversations were, what was bugging them, what wasn't working for them, what were they looking for from you, and then turn those things into captions. You can do this in storytelling ways, but also in very direct ways, like 3 signs you are losing hair and should be worried. 3 things you're doing at home that is ruining your color before you make it back to the salon. I know that the majority of you got into this industry to help people. So don't dim your light online just because you're afraid of what some random person is going to think about you. Show up for the woman who needs to hear the message. Just focus on her, and I promise you, it'll get easier over time. The big takeaway here is that the way you speak in your content should sound like you're chatting with your absolute favorite client with an iced coffee in your hand. All right, now you know what makes you different. You know how to look different visually. You know how to sound different in your content. So now let's add in some variety. I want you guys to think about like your favorite album from your favorite artist. Are all the songs the same, or is there a variety? Are there songs that are slower that then build into these like wild climactic songs on the album and then it softens out? Like, what is it about that album that you really, really love? We want our Instagram profiles to be like a playlist or like an album that we're putting together. A great way to do this is to add in variety in how we're posting. People get bored super fast, and we want to have an album that's no skips. Okay, so this is how you're going to do this. As you're posting, I want you to mix up the colors, lengths, and textures of the hair that you're regularly posting. And I also want you to mix up the type of content. So this could be carousels, reels, static posts, voiceovers, you talking to the camera, B roll, All of it. Having this variety, even if you're talking about the exact same topics, is going to help people stay engaged. I also want you to remember that everybody out there needs something a little bit different. So, somebody who might not take the time to read a long caption might love a carousel, and vice versa. Somebody might rather see you talking face to camera. I want you to understand this doesn't mean you're overcomplicating anything. It just means that you're being intentional and you're showing up with that purpose in mind. The takeaway here is that if every post looks the same, your audience is going to treat you the same. Let's keep them curious. To better understand the marketing campaigns that you should be running to turn your differences into clients, watch this video here. It is episode 141, or find the link in the show notes.